This is
Slides up.
processing. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go.
Hello, and welcome to. Oh, that's the wrong one. Welcome to Young Guns. And today we are talking the first little bit of bowl season. Oh, no, that's the surprise. Dang it.
My bad.
Well, that happened.
Sorry. All right.
Oh, God. Okay. So we're talking the first little bit of bowl season. What's up, Edward?
Hey,
Today we're going to start with the Bahamas Bowl, UAB and Miami. So, what do we think about this, Will?
It was a good game, man. Like it was they were literally like 2 yards short at the end. Miami of Ohio was, and it was back, and like it looked like UAB was going to pull away, and then Miami took the lead, and then they just went back and forth at the end, and then it went down to the last possession. I mean, that's what you want to see out of a bowl game. Like 2 6-6 teams, you're not expecting much, and then it just goes down to the wire at the end like that. It was a great way to start bowl season.
Jackson?
oh man, that stop at the 2 yard line, the final play of the game. Like, oh man, that was my favorite part of the game right there. It was just Miami, Ohio coming up short. Oh man, I am just so happy to see UAB doing awesome. I mean, several years they were on the down and they were on the out and out, but they've been on the up and up over the last several years, and I really hope the Trent Dilfer era is really awesome, like the Bill Clark era was. As they head into the AAC conference starting on July 1st, 2023 in Miami, Ohio. I wish a lot of luck to you in 2023.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, this was a really good game at the end. It started out a little slow. Both sides were really struggling, but in the second half, both teams came alive, and again, UAB, took the lead, and then at the end, as everybody's talking about, Miami, Ohio getting stopped at the 2 yard line. It was a crazy ending. It was a fantastic game, and again, for UAB, very good win to begin the Trent Dilfer era. As Jackson pointed out, in Miami, Ohio, it stinks that you came up a little bit short, but a very fantastic bowl game to start bowl season for sure.
Austin?
Yeah, this was a very entertaining game. Like it's been mentioned that 2 6-6 teams, you really don't expect much, and you got a whole lot out of it. And I know the other two gentlemen above me, Jackson and Jeffrey, my cohorts have done brought this up. The 2 yard goal line stand. That right there is what championship defense is made of, gentlemen. That was a heck of a stop. And congratulations, UAB. You got your new head coach, Trent Dilfer, going in the right direction with this bowl win. Miami of Ohio, hopefully they do well in their new journey. And Big Ben was in attendance, so that may have gave him a little boost of confidence. But overall, congratulations, UAB, and wish you the best of luck.
And to think if that ball had been thrown on target completely, he might have been able to get in the end zone, maybe. But it was just a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
Made the difference.
Yeah, as far as that game, it sounds like it was basically at the end of the game a remnants of Super Bowl 34. Titans just that short.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking the Cure Bowl. Will?
I thought that the Trojans were done once it got 12-0. I mean, that offense just was not doing anything. But then they finally get it going at the end there. The Trojans did, and then suddenly UTSA couldn't do anything. It was a crazy game. But congratulations to Troy for going 12-2. I mean, that's just awesome for a program like Troy, which I'm pretty sure they missed bowls the last couple of years. So just really impressed by the Trojans. Obviously, UTSA, it sucks. You want to win your first bowl game, but it's going to happen sooner or later. And the reason you're losing these games is because you're playing other great teams that also had a great season. So I'm sure UTSA will get into a bowl they can win in the American next year. So yeah, congratulations to Troy though. Great year. That program's going places with Coach Summerall.
Oh yeah, Coach Summerall has done a very fantastic job. I mean, after they got humiliated on College Game Day with the Hail Mary pass by Appalachian State, they were like, "We're not losing another game again." Hey, guess what? The 10-game winning streak happens, including the Sun Belt title game victory against Coastal Carolina and the Cure Bowl victory against UTSA and Frank Harris and Jeff Traylor and all those guys, and scoring 18 unanswered points. I mean, my goodness, it was lovely. And here's a little fun fact for Troy. They got more wins than Bama this year, regardless of how Bama does in the Sugar Bowl. Think about it, Troy. You are doing that awesome. And it's your 5th straight bowl win. And UTSA, unfortunately, does not have a win in their school history. But in the meantime, I wish nothing but awesomeness for Frank Harris next year as they head into the AAC. Nothing but awesomeness for Coach Jeff Traylor, and nothing but awesomeness for the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. Exactly. The Bama schools too. Yes. Pretty soon that's going to be 3-0, hopefully.
I doubt it.
I don't know. You never know.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, this was a really solid game. I mean, UTSA started the game up 12-0, and as Will pointed out, it looked like they were going to run away with it, but their offense just stalled. They didn't look like the same team without their offensive coordinator on offense. The play calling was a little off. Just everything was out of sync, and Troy's defense really stepped up. And they played fantastic, and they were able to pull out a very low-scoring game, which was really surprising considering, as one of the comments I was already pointed out, I thought this game was going to be a lot higher scoring as well, but the defense ended up winning the day and some poor offense, especially on the UTSA side. But it stinks for UTSA. They didn't get their first bowl win, but a fantastic season for Troy to, finish the season on a winning streak like they have had. They've not lost since that App State game, as Jackson pointed out. So really good win for Troy.
Austin?
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy to rain on anyone's parade, but the officiating in this game was just awful on both sides. Like, the officials, they need to learn to keep – if you're going to blow the whistle, blow it. If not, keep it in your pocket, because there were so many calls in this game that should have went one way and they went the other, or there was no calls. I mean, my goodness.
I wasn't going to
I
bring
don't
it
like-
up, but since you did, again, the worst call in the entire game was when they called pass interference in the end zone. And that ball was like 20 feet over everybody's head. That wasn't catchable. It shouldn't have been called. Just terrible.
Okay, Edward, but the thing is, in 09 and 14, going into the Sugar Bowls, they were at full strength, and they still got beat by 2 touchdowns both times. So history speaks for itself, but to Jackson's point, we shall see.
Oh, and
But yeah,
oh, sorry. Troy V said, like I said, never bet against Troy. You are most certainly right, Troy V. I know I didn't.
yeah. Troy still won the game, though, regardless of the calls. I mean, it stinks that the officials had an effect on it. You never want to see that in a bowl game, but congratulations to all the Troy Trojans. Not only winning your conference, but winning a big bowl game. Congratulations, UST, for winning your conference and getting to the bowl game. It just sucks that it happened. You lost the way you did, but congratulations Troy, you did still win, no matter how the outcome was affected by the referees. But just congratulations.
What up, One Scoop John? How are you?
What's up?
Oh, we may see a little Michigan Notre Dame little talk tonight. All right. Ooh, Colby. Hey, y'all go. Ooh, what's up? Oh, Colby, man. What's up, man?
John, do you want to? But Mike, do you want to talk about that game?
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Now
Oh,
the
man.
Hobby Bowl, and you know what? Because he has some apologizing to do, Austin, we're gonna start with you.
I'll start off with this. I'm sorry to all my faithful Cardinal lovers out there. I'm sorry I ever doubted us. This is not the same team that was once under Bobby Petrino after he left. This ain't the same team that when Charlie Strong left. Those teams are no more. This team has been completely different. And they not only showed Cincinnati, they not only showed that they are a different team, they made sure to send Satterfield off with a little gift by spanking his new team. And shout out Deion Branch. That man had us ready to play. And Jamar Jordan, that bad man, went for 2 tutties. The defense was balling. And guess what? The keg's not going anywhere. And it's a Cardinal party all night long. Whoop, whoop. And Satterfield, I hope you enjoy it over there because you're missing out. Go Cards.
Better coach than Satterfield, so there you go.
The birds with teeth. That defense showed its teeth to the Bearcats, man. They were chomping down those cats, man. They were cooking them up on that defense. The quarterback play did scare me a bit for the Cardinals, but that defense was so good. And those 2 big runs really just set the tone that this is going to be a day for Louisville to celebrate. To win over the coach's team that ditched them. Go take your loss. They got the keg. Go Cards.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, it was fun seeing an old rivalry come back for a little bit. I mean, it's too bad that those 2 don't play annually, but, I could go on that all night, but I'm not going to. But I'll tell you what, you ever hear that? The chickens come home to roost? Scott Satterfield learned that real quick. You do not do that. Somebody forgot to tell him that, but he's just like, oh, well, I'm going to leave.
I don't really know what Scott Satterfield learned from this. I mean, hey, for whatever reason, he took a lateral job. At the end of the day, call a spade a spade. He took a lateral job.
Yeah. He's going to get.
Maybe they're paying more money because they're going into the Big 12, but he took a lateral job.
Well,
and
he's got.
Here's the thing. So it's not just the fact that he took a lateral job.
Right.
For me, it's the fact that he pulled a Brian Kelly and said, "Screw you guys, I'm not coaching the bowl game."
I mean, at least Brian Kelly didn't leave for like USC or Michigan. I mean, no offense.
But I mean, I get that, but it's not the fact that he left; it's the way that he left that really irked.
Yeah,
both times.
I mean, it's kind of like sleeping. I mean, like leaving your current team for one of their rivals is kind of like sleeping with your significant other and leaving them for their sister.
Oh,
And
Well,
Satterfield and
on that
Cincinnati.
What a comparison.
Jeffrey,
I
your
mean,
turn.
that's what Cincinnati's going to get punched, and it's not because Cincinnati, but because Satterfield. I mean, they are going to get beat down in the future in the Big
I don't know though, because with this showing, I don't know, man.
It's going to be like the Tuberville era at Cincinnati. But I'll tell you what, though, Louisville has a beautiful era ahead of them with the Jeff Brom era.
I hope so
I know
because this
so.
game showed a lot.
I know so, man. Get some positivity going, man.
Well, like I said, the past two coaches that left us, the team that they left behind just didn't want to play anymore, and it cost us everything. But
at least like Petrino and Strong didn't leave you for your rivals. That's what Satterfield did. So it's like,
yeah,
Money talks, baby. Money talks.
yeah,
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game right here for me was tough to pick because of the fact that yeah. Thanks,
Go
Troy.
ahead.
You're good, man. You're good.
That's why Brom gets the last laugh.
Satterfield is supposedly getting paid $3.4 million a year at Cincy, but Brom is about to make roughly $5 million at Louis.
Karma for Satterfield.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Thank you. The thing that made this game tough to pick is because of the fact that Cincinnati, when I originally thought they were going to win this game, they did not have a lot of opt-outs, but that changed very quickly as the game got closer. A lot more players for Cincinnati ended up not playing that I thought were. And Louisville, they had a fair share of opt-outs as well, but Cincinnati was not prepared or able to handle a lot of opt-outs. Louisville has more, replaceable players and a lot of guys that stepped up in the bowl game and won that weren't starters until this bowl game. Cincinnati was not able to do that, and I didn't know that Cincinnati was going to have as many opt-outs as they did. But kudos to Louisville, a very good bowl win. I think potentially this one's being a bit overinflated because of the fact that Cincinnati was so depleted. It's still a fantastic win for Louisville, but Cincinnati just looked like a shell of a team out there. And Louisville had guys that could come in and do some things. So really, really good win for Louisville, but I don't know how much can be taken away from, Louisville's going to be elite in the future. If they're going to be elite, it's going to be like what Jackson said, Jeff Brom's going to really make them a better team. But I wouldn't take too much from this bowl game because Cincinnati was just so depleted.
I will say real quick, Deion Branch, he did a really good coaching job. I'm surprised no team has tried to interview him for some coaching jobs because the way that we played for him, that was some good stuff. Like, because after Satterfield had left us high and dry and then Branch has to come in and pick up the pieces, all credit to him for doing that and helping us get the win.
Now, I watched most of this until it got to 24/7, and I was like, I'm going to go watch something else because this is well in hand. This defense on Louisville's side is just did they drink something before the game? Because they actually showed up, and that's outside of Clemson, that's not something you see in ACC teams. They don't play defense very well. The quarterback for Cincinnati was very.
That was a burn, man. That was a burn on the ACC.
Disco Inferno.
Hey now.
I did give credit to Clemson before I get attacked. I did give credit to Clemson. The Cincinnati quarterback made some very poor decisions that I don't think I would have made, but that's why they play and we just speculate. He wouldn't he wouldn't get rid of the ball. Dude, you got to save your own life and just get rid of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. Uh,
The ACC has a lot of improving to do on defense. Yes,
yes, that's my whole point.
Oh, they got a whole lot of
as a
improvement
whole
there.
conference, they need to improve.
Yes, I did. To Edward, I did say Clemson has the best defense of the bunch. But I mean, they were getting to the Cincinnati quarterback. I mean, look at that. I can't even remember his name. That's how bad it was.
Well, they played two
Evan
quarterbacks.
Prater.
Evan Prather was the guy that started the bowl game. I can't remember the second guy because I
Yeah,
turned the
it's
game off too.
Prater. That's what it was.
I
And
was, but
he's
then I
inexperienced. The Louisville defense got like I think 4 or more sacks, and it's just crash, crash, crash. Like the whole first half, or the whole, at least a decent chunk of the first half, was nothing but defense. Like it was a defensive game. Like I can make out that at halftime it said it was like 21-7, but
Mhm.
it didn't even feel like it was 21-7 at halftime. Because it was so.
Jamal Jordan. He broke those
Yeah.
two big runs at the end there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, congrats to Louisville and Cincinnati. Good luck because you're gonna need it because I think you're going down the drain now.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, we like the blitz
let's go to the Vegas
because that's what we
Bowl.
did to Wake Forest.
Oh yeah, baby.
Beef time.
Now we're talking beeves. Before we get
Go.
started, I think we can all agree that Sunbelt Billy doesn't know how to coach.
He looks out of his element. He actually does. In this game, I'm like, okay, maybe there might be some validity to the Sunbelt Billy thing because, like, you got to have your team more ready than that. Like, I'm fine if you lose because of how many opt-outs you have, but losing by 27 points, it's embarrassing. Like, you can't lose by 4 scores in a bowl game. Like, that can't happen.
And the thing is, like, they had 23 by the end of 3 quarters. It's like, what? If you have 23, then you need to have like 14, not 0.
That was the world's saddest field goal at the end to get on the board. Like, they could have went for it and at least try to get a touchdown, but they gave up and went for the field goal.
Well, because Florida, Billy Napier didn't want to be the guy that ended Florida's streak of most consecutive scores in bowl games. Because Florida has scored in every bowl game they have been in for like 30 straight or something. He didn't want to be the guy to end it.
1987 was the last time they didn't score.
Hey, Billy, if you can't win, then don't even try.
Yeah.
I think Scott Satterfield left because he knew he was eventually going to get fired.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, we're talking about the Vegas Bowl.
Oh, I know.
Jackson.
Just the comments kept pulling up, so I was just putting my thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Oh, the Vegas Bowl? Oh, man. So this is Oregon's first 10-win season since 2006. This is their first win against an SEC team in school history, and this is most likely going to be their first time since 2013 that, well, let's see. I don't know when's the last time they were ranked in the final AP poll. I think it was like 2012 because they weren't ranked in the final AP poll 2013, but this year was the first time they were ranked since 2013. And I believe this is their third 10-win season in school history. Tell you what, bravo to the Oregon State Beavers of 2022. And bravo to a great job that Jonathan Smith is doing. And I wish you nothing but awesomeness in the 2023 season and so on and so forth. And the Florida Gators, only way to go is up, man. That's all he can do, man. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, this game was not very entertaining if you're a Florida fan, for sure. That was not good. The performance was horrible. I mean, yes, like everyone's pointed out, they had a lot of opt-outs, but you got to play better than that. You still have talent on your team. I mean, your quarterback was a transfer from Buckeye Mike's team, Ohio State, Jack Miller. It should have been better than that. I don't know how much of it's Billy Napier is garbage. He can't coach. I don't know. I'm not going to go there yet, but there are some issues with Florida. They're very inconsistent. I mean, all season you beat South Carolina, 38-6, but then you lose to Vanderbilt. So just something is not right with Florida. And even though they had a lot of opt-outs, this game should have been a lot closer. But as everyone's pointed out, Jonathan Smith in Oregon State, he's done a fantastic job there. They are a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to root for. I mean, because they're historically have not been very good and they haven't been good in a long time. It's just very fun seeing them win. And congrats for getting the huge bowl win over Florida. You dominated the whole game. And as everyone else pointed out, that field goal was hilarious just to keep the streak alive. So,
Austin.
Yeah. I will say Oregon State did what they were supposed to. They were supposed to beat Florida with all these opt-outs. I'm not taking anything away. I'm not diminishing no victories. Just so everyone knows out there, it's still a great win for the Oregon State program. It's just they did what they were supposed to.
Isn't
Now,
it
Florida
more
was
impressive that
healthy
they won so
and-
big, though?
What?
Isn't it like at all to you that they won by 27 points?
Impressive? That's impressive because it's the SEC. It can shut up the SEC people about SEC. We don't lose to loser
In my
teams like
opinion-
Oregon State.
In my opinion, that's not impressive because you beat a depleted Florida team. Like, come on
they
now.
were favored
like-
by 10.
Well, hold on. It may be depleted,
It
but
is
they may-
impressive to actual football fans, but for a lot of people that are like Buckeye Mike said, just SEC fans, it's not impressive because then they'll use the excuse of the opt-outs, and a lot of people will, but it's still impressive even with the opt-outs. It's still a great win.
At the end of the day, it is because, again, it's the SEC. I mean, here's the thing. All of these Florida fans going into this game had already built in excuses both ways. It was, oh, if we get blown out, it's because we lost half our team. And if we win, it's, oh, see, we didn't even need half the team that opted out. And Oregon State is fake good. And I'm not
That's
saying
exactly
Oregon
what it
State
was,
is
man.
fake good. I'm telling you, that's what the built-in stuff was.
I just
Alright.
want to make it clear that I am not an SEC fan. I'm just saying when you are a talented team like Oregon State, you're supposed to do that to Florida. But if Florida didn't have all these opt-outs, we may be talking about something else. But
And I agree with
congratulations.
Sorry, Austin. Go ahead. Sorry.
But congratulations to Oregon State. Nonetheless, to Buckeye Mike's point, you did beat an SEC team. That is impressive. Now
Alright, can
all
I
the
make-
SEC fans. Go ahead, Will.
But Florida is so much more, even with the opt-outs, Florida, by recruiting measurements, is a more talented team than Oregon State. Like, Oregon State does not recruit highly at all. So I don't like that excuse by SEC fans.
I
that-
agree with your point 100%, Will. I basically agree with that. That's why I said that it should have been a lot closer of a game if you look at the fact that the backups are still arguably recruiting rankings wise are better than Oregon State's players. So I agree with you 100%. But to Troy's point, I said that about 5 minutes ago that Florida's been inconsistent all season. So that's why the Billy Napier is not a good coach arguments are starting because they're inconsistent. They're not playing to their talent level. They're all over the place. One week they look like a top 15 team beating Utah, beating South Carolina, but then you lose to Vanderbilt. You almost lose to South Florida. There are some issues with Florida. They should not have lost this bowl game by that much. I agree. And even with all of their players, if Anthony Richardson and all of them played in this game, they could have lost this game if they played their bad version. They lost to Vanderbilt. If they play like they did against Vanderbilt, they would have lost this game against Oregon State with all their players. If they play like they did against Utah or South Carolina, they would have beaten Oregon State with their full players. They're inconsistent. We don't know what Florida team is going to show up any given week.
But nonetheless, congratulations, Oregon State. Beat the SEC team, the Gators. Congratulations.
Yes, you beat an SEC school. Soak it in. Now we're going to talk about my favorite group of 5 quarterback, Mr. Jake Haener and the Fresno State Bulldogs against the Washington Huskies. Will,
Man, I'm drinking all that Hanerade after that game for Fresno State. I'm drinking all that Hanerade, man. The Bulldogs looked really good. And I'm also, I gotta be a little disappointed in the Cougs. I know you can use the opt-out excuse for the Cougs, and that the talent gap between them and Fresno State isn't that much, is probably less even than Oregon State and Florida. So they have a bit more of an excuse to play that bad. But I don't know, man. It did feel like a home game for Fresno State as well because they're so much closer. Like, it's only a 4-hour drive, which still seems like a long drive, but it's a 4-hour drive from Fresno to LA. But I'm just a little disappointed in the Cougs, but I am impressed in the Bulldogs. The Mountain West champs show that they're the champs of the conference, and they put on a show in SoFi Stadium.
To Edward's point about questioning Billy Napier's coaching ability, it's his first year. If he has the same outcome next year, then that's when you should question. I never said I was, so I just was saying that that's why a lot of people are, because that's how quick narratives shift in football these days and in any sport. If you're not winning with what you have, you're gonna get a lot of flack for it. So I agree with you. He shouldn't be getting it right now, but he will if he doesn't continue to improve Florida.
Exactly.
I mean, you beat Utah in week 1, and then so there's a problem there.
Yeah, they lucked out with the Utah win. They really shouldn't have won that game, but fair is fair, spade's a spade. It's in the record books.
I'm still scratching my head on how that, but it is what it is.
Jackson?
Well, there were a lot of opt-outs from Washington State on that game, and the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator bailed for other places, so that definitely hurt Washington State. So let's be real. And Fresno State not only finished the season at 10-4, but they are the first team in FBS history to go from 1-4 to 10-4. Man. Coach Jeff Tedford has done a fantastic job in the 2022 season. When it looked like they were down and out, they had nowhere to go but up. And oh man, it was awesome. And how's Jake Haener not looked at in the draft? I mean, somebody should take a look at getting him, and I know I would.
Thanks, Edward. I didn't think you were. I was just pointing that out. Thank you, man.
Aw, blew you a little kiss. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On this, go. What'd you say, Jackson?
Sweet potato. I'm just messing with y'all.
Yeah, on this game here, I will say that I was a little bit fearful for Washington State because of the fact that, to me, the two most important players on their team were those wide receivers that entered the transfer portal. Donovan Ollie, Dazon Stribling. Because Washington State's offense is so much through the air, and when you take your two best receivers and you throw them out, Washington State just completely collapsed. I mean, if they're both playing, this game's closer. There's no doubt in my mind because the passing game would have got going. Cam Ward didn't do anything in this game. He didn't have a good game because of his top wideouts were out. And Fresno State, again, they're a solid team, and their record is a lie because of the fact if Jake Haener had not have missed time, they would only have 2 losses. They would have had the 3-point loss to Oregon State because he played in that game, and they lost by 3. And then they lost at USC, and even though he got hurt in that game, they would have lost to USC anyway. But outside of that, they would have never lost the other 2 games that they lost with him being hurt. So they should be 12-2. They are a fantastic team. And that's why they manhandle Washington State, because they're fantastic. And Washington State was shorthanded.
Austin?
Yeah, and like I agree with everything you just said there, Jeffrey. Fresno State, they are a fantastic team. You know, they're coming back on the climb up. You know, and I agree with your point. If Jake Haener doesn't miss those 2 games, they're 12-2 at the moment. But yeah, this game here, I know Washington State was kind of in the same boat as Florida. A lot of opt-outs, and you can use that excuse. But at the end of the day, Fresno State was still the better team at the end of it. They won the bowl game, and they wanted it more, and they got it done. So congratulations to Fresno State. Washington State, I just hope that Cam Ward, if he decides to return next year, I don't know how many years of eligibility he has left. Maybe he can get back to this point and the team ain't depleted with opt-outs, and maybe he can win a bowl game.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Can I go on a little spiel on Jeff Tedford, the coach of Fresno State? I think he's
man.
one of the more underrated coaches out there.
Yeah,
Just
how
for
is
the guy-
nobody even talking about Jeff Tedford? He's so awesome, man.
Yeah, like Jeff Tedford coached Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch, Deshaun Jackson, and Justin Forsett. Along Javid Best was also really good in college. So Jeff Tedford's awesome.
I know. It's like, how does nobody even pay attention to that? It's like, that's the guy that coached Aaron Rodgers in college. The Pac-12, the first Power 5 to dive in the bowl season. Oh, yeah. They most certainly are, Mark. And
Gixxer Squid asked the question, who's the biggest bowl surprise? For me, it's Louisville. I mean, even with Cincy's buyouts, for me, it's got to be Louisville.
I thought Cincinnati was going to be better, but Louisville was just like, we saw this show, and we're going to make you pay the price for picking against us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oregon State over Florida was the surprise for me. I'm surprised they won by as many as they did. I was thinking Florida would keep it close, somewhere in the 24-20 range, and then Oregon State would maybe get the last second touchdown or kick a field goal at the end. But no, they basically told Florida, you're not in our league. Go away.
I mean, for me, to answer Gixxer's question, for me, I don't know if we count this, but it's North Carolina Central. I mean, holy crap, that performance.
Yeah, that was good.
Shutting down Dion in his last game at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Edward was saying, Jackson, this is your cue to start talking about how they underrated 60-year-old Willie Fritz. Well, unfortunately, Tulane is not on tonight's topic. But when we do like a New Year's Six review, I will most certainly talk about how underrated he is in all of college football. That
For the team win the game.
Jeffrey, what's your
yes,
biggest bowl surprise?
Yeah, the bird with teeth, I noticed. He looks mad. That's something I noticed. And he's like, "Argh."
I mean, I guess, to be honest, I'm not really surprised with the results of Oregon State, Florida, or Fresno State, Washington State on who won the games necessarily. I'm more surprised on how much they did win by, but I picked both of them to win. But the game that we're going to be getting to that I'm most surprised about, and I know you guys have you mentioned briefly about Jackson State going down, but that's a little bit different because it's, you could say maybe preoccupied. I don't like using that argument. But for me, the bowl game that actually really surprised me was SMU BYU because of the fact I thought for sure SMU would win that game. And we're going to get to that one. You asked surprise. It's different on the result when I already had a feeling a team would win.
Yeah,
But they
that's
won by more. I just went with a game that I thought a team would win, and they didn't. And we're gonna get to it. So
Okay.
right.
Cool.
Well,
So,
who got
all right. So,
hitting it in this bowl?
so Lending Tree Bowl. Now, before Will goes, I have something I want to get off my chest. These 6-6 and 5-7 schools, yes, you have a better argument for 5-7 not being deserving of going, but I think it was just a situation where Rice was just in line, and this bowl needed a team, and it's probably a contract bowl,
they're
so
smart.
they just did what they could do.
Rice got in
Yeah.
because they're smart
Mhm.
and academics. They were the top
Um,
academic school. That's exactly what happened there.
But I'm just sick and tired of these people saying these 5-7, 6-6, and 7-5 teams don't deserve to be in a bowl game. Okay, well, you know what? Then have some fun, and we'll see you when the big boys play, because we love football. You must not love free football. It's free football. It's football.
These games
You
are
don't
arguably
like-
better now because most of these teams are at full strength, no opt-outs. I mean, these are almost better games now.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So whatever this reason of you don't like watching these crappy bowl games of 6-6 teams, you could just not be a part of any conversations for a while. You guys just need to disappear. But yeah, this game probably looks like it was a great game. Looks like there was some back and forth, but that's all I'm going to say because I didn't watch this game yet. So off to you, Will.
I'm gonna have to give a big congratulations to Southern Miss. They didn't lose to food. Great job, Southern Miss. You dodged the bullet, man. You
Right.
dodged us all laughing at you for not losing the food. So, and how I know he's undersized, but how do you not? How did like the big Earth schools not recruit Frank Gore Jr.? Like this guy's a dog. Like his dad was awesome at Miami, and he was in the NFL forever and being productive for such a long time. But even though I thought Southern Miss was going to dominate this game just because they beat Kansas State, Tulane. My bad, Tulane. Rice took the lead in this game, and I was like, "Or is the food actually going to win?" But Southern Miss did get it together. But shout out to Rice, like they didn't just fold over like I thought they would.
Jackson.
Oh man, like Frank Gore Jr. I mean, like seriously, how are NFL draft scouts not watching this game, man? I mean, he's the son of Frank Gore. Take a look at him. I mean, all it takes is just a quick YouTube search for this game. Believe me, you're gonna love it. Draft scouts. By this watching, watch this game. As for Rice, well, good luck to you in your new conference, the AAC, on July 1st, 2023. So, good luck to you, buddy. Southern Miss,
Jeffrey.
congratulations on the wonderful bowl victory.
I will say that I don't think people should be looking at Frank Gore Jr. just because he's the son of Frank Gore. They should be looking at him because he's fantastic in his own right. That guy's legit. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's one of the most overall, all-around players in college football. He's fantastic, and he's why Southern Miss won the game. He is an elite player, and he should be in the NFL. And again, it's icing on the cake that he's Frank Gore's son, but he should be looked at even without that. He is fantastic. I hate it for Rice that you made a bowl game at 5-7. It's always cool when those teams can get a win because it's like, hey, you're 6-7. And then you can say, well, hey, we got a bowl win even though we're under 500. It's really cool looking, but Rice couldn't get it done. Food lost, as Will pointed out. It is what it is. Food struggles to win in a lot of sports, but hey, you're smart, so that counts for something.
Mm-hmm. Austin, what did you think, bro?
I will say, I have to ask, why didn't USC, Alabama, some of these bigger schools, why didn't they take a look at Frank Gore Jr.? Because if this is the way he's been playing all year, that man is a beast. And if he's got any resemblance of his father's game in him, we all see what his dad is, top 5 all time in NFL rushing. Yeah, his son could be very well on his way to being up there with Pops. But yeah, Southern Miss, they played a great game. And poor Rice, they got cooked. They got burnt. Because Frank Gore Jr. wasn't going to let food beat them. And they made it a game. I was surprised at first, but then Frank Gore took over. Frank Gore Jr. took over. So, and I agree with Jeffrey. He is an elite talent, and he belongs in the NFL. It is icing on the cake that his dad is a future Hall of Famer, and he is Frank Gore, but he should have been looked at regardless. But congratulations, Southern Miss, on your win. And hopefully Frank Gore Jr. will be seeing you in the big time soon.
We're going to. It's going to be fun watching some Frank Gore Jr. And Troy V asked, did Frank Gore retire or is he still in 2020? Probably play against each other one day as Frank is supposed to play for a long bit. I don't have time to pronounce the word tonight.
Longevity.
Longevity.
Yeah. I'm just like, but yeah, he's not on an NFL team anymore. He's retired. He's just waiting it out for the Hall of Fame in, I believe, 2025.
So the funny thing is, it's a food with the nickname of an animal because it's a rice owls. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Who knows, man?
What do you think of this, Will?
I don't have anything nice to say about how they're doing in football.
I mean, I'm not trying to say anything mad about Rice. I'm like, but like, you just can't lose to food. Like, as an athlete, you can't lose to grains like that, man. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, they've averaged.
Josh Pate has ruined Rice forever. Okay, it's all over.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
About Rice football so.
Because like no one talks good about him. I said, at least you're smart. You're smart. The smartest cuisine ever.
Jimmy. Has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, probably the best bowl game yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And most controversial.
BYU, SMU, the Cougs, the Mustangs. It's not CFL, Buckeye Mike. The Mustangs, the Cougars, the sick, slick unis by BYU. Oh my God. They need to wear those more often.
I have to say this. If Tanner Mordecai would have had Rigby on his team, they would have got that 2-point conversion. They got to get a guy named Rigby to play on SMU, and then they would have won these big games, man. Like,
exactly. Hambonin.
Yes, sir.
Come on, guys. We're a dignified show. We need to actually sound like we know what we're talking about. We need people to take us seriously. You're tanking the views and the subscribers. We've lost 10 subscribers already.
No, but this game was awesome. Credit to BYU without winning this game without Jaren Hall, their starting quarterback. They kind of fell apart once. I mean, they were falling apart before that. It looked like they might make a New Year's Six bowl at the beginning of the year. But then, of course, Oregon happened, and then they started losing, and then Jaren Hall got out. So, but credit to them for inclining Sataki and keeping the culture going at BYU and winning this game. And then this was a great New Mexico Bowl. Thank you for both schools for this, because there were too many blowouts yesterday, and this game made me feel a little bit better about bowl season.
Jackson.
What's funny is on Monday it will be the 42nd anniversary of one of the biggest comebacks in all of college football history, the 1980 Bowl, where BYU beat them by 1 point, and I guess it looks like history somewhat repeat itself, but it wasn't a comeback victory. Unfortunately for SMU, they did not win this game. But BYU, I mean, you had a disappointing year, boys. But, at least you ended the disappointing season with a bang. And I wish you nothing but awesomeness in your journey to the Big 12. And it's going to be quite a wild ride. I look forward to watching you. And SMU, you gotta get a Rigby and a Muscle Man on your team as well. So
Jeffrey.
you need Benson on your team as well. So and Skips too.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the ending because I'm sure my co-host down here will talk about it. But yeah, all I know is that I was shocked on this game. When you asked so far in bowl season, I thought SMU would win because BYU was gutted. They had so many players that were not playing in this game, and SMU only had Rashee Rice, their top wide receiver. He was not playing. It was one guy. BYU, you were playing a quarterback that I've never even heard of. The guy that I said was going to be playing in the video because it was in my video that I made because of the fact in the article that I read said he was going to be playing. It was ended up being another quarterback. So it's like they were all the way down the depth chart to the fourth guy. There's no way that they should have won this game, but somehow they found a way, partially due to SMU not playing up to their potential and partially because BYU wanted to win, and they did what Florida did not. They actually showed up to play without a lot of their players because they should not have won this game. They should not have won this game. They had a lot of players that were not playing, and using that logic, SMU probably should have won by 14. But credit to BYU, regardless of the ending, for pulling out a win. And SMU, very disappointed that you couldn't pull out this win. But again, BYU won a game without a lot of players, so that was credit to them.
Austin.
Okay, so now I'm going to be the one to bring this up. I'm sorry, fellas, but I got to. Why in the world are you going for 2 at the end there? Why not play for overtime? This ain't the NFL. Play for overtime.
Win or go home. That's all that matters. Win, 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 baby. Wins bring in
This ain't
everything.
the NFL,
LSU
guys.
did it.
LSU?
LSU did it on success against Bama.
Indiana did it over Penn State.
Yeah, I'm sorry, LSU. I can't hear LSU.
Okay, so here's the thing. Jeffrey has said this multiple times. I'm going to steal one of his famous lines. He said, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're not a genius. Well, in this case, that was not a very smart move because you could have easily tied it after coming back. You could have easily tied it and we could have played overtime. And I believe that was the wrong decision. Now, I get it if we're in the NFL realm, get it, go big, go home because you don't want to end in a tie. Got it, cool. But in college, there's unlimited overtimes. I get it. You don't want to be like LSU, Texas A&M. Like you don't want to do that many and stay there all night. But I still say kick it and play for the overtime. But I'm not the coach, so therefore I get overruled. I'm just the spectator. But congratulations to BYU, though.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to BYU, though. Heck of a game, because after they had high expectations this year and being ranked in the top 15 and then losing, and then, they beat Baylor and then they get trounced by Oregon and, they finished the season 7-5 and here they are. And I didn't have faith in them and they proved me wrong. They beat SMU. Now, if SMU would have tied it, I think SMU probably wins this game in overtime, but it's neither here nor there. But congratulations, BYU. You proved me wrong.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yep. The
Alright.
game of the night, one of the better games of the day. We got the blue Bronco. Can horses even be blue? No, unless you paint it blue.
Mm-hmm.
And the North Texas mean green. What is a mean green anyway? Anyway,
That Bronco
these
looks bad.
Broncos pulled it out their rear and pulled off the win. Will?
Yeah, this was another good one. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch this one because I was hanging out with friends. But shout out to the Mean Joe Greens for showing up after losing the tough conference championship game to UTSA. But yeah, this game went back and forth, and it was a good one. I'm not gonna add too much just because I couldn't watch this game. But let's move on to Jackson.
Ooh.
Jackson.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was pretty impressed with how Boise played in this game. But, what a magnificent turnaround from earlier this year. I mean, good Lord, you lost to UTEP, who's get left behind in the Conference USA. So, but, great ending to the year for Boise State. In North Texas, I wish you nothing but awesomeness on your journey to the AAC on July 1st, 2023. Sorry that your season didn't end so well.
It's on them. They lost a nail biter.
True. But I wish them nothing but awesomeness all the same. Especially with their new head coach next year, I think.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, this game was very interesting because a lot of people still, think of Boise State as a, great group of 5 program, as a power, and they still are to a degree, but they're not the same team they used to be a few years ago. But to Jackson's point, they lost at UTEP early in the season. Boise State fired their offensive coordinator, and they got their act together. Hank Bachmeier entered the transfer portal. Taylon Green took over. He's a very inconsistent quarterback, but he has improved as the season's gone along. He's a solid runner. His passing is improving. The future is still bright for Boise State, maybe to potentially get back to the, elite group of 5 program that they used to be. They're still a really solid program. Winning 10 games for them is disappointing for what they used to do. But Boise State, they found a way to win. And it's always funny seeing a team with a 7-7 record, and with North Texas, you don't see that too often. But again, North Texas, you played hard. And kind of shocking their head coach got fired. I know they've been a little bit underwhelming. Seth Luttrell, he got fired before, the bowl game and everything. So, and it's just very interesting on that. They've been kind of around 500, so I guess I understand they want to do better. But a good win for Boise State to eke out the win, and it was a very solid game overall.
Yeah. Congratulations to Boise State. What a game. North Texas, the Mean Greens, they gave Boise State all they could handle and then some. Because coming into this game, I was thinking Boise's probably going to roll. North Texas, they're deflated. Can't speak. Deflated. And they're probably not going to play very well. They fired their head coach, and here we are. It's Boise survives at the end. They get that one first down at the end, move the chains, and that's ball game. And North Texas, I give them all the credit in the world that they hung around with Boise State, and Jeffrey and Jackson mentioned it. They lost to UTEP. You can't be doing that if you expect to be, a power team. But I still think Boise's a really good team. And just congratulations to all parties involved on a great season, especially North Texas for hanging in as long as they did. So I was expecting a complete blowout.
But on the bright side, at least North Texas is going to have a Mike Leach assistant taking over as new head coach next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Mean Joe Green, though. That's what they're named after, the Steelers legend who went to North Texas.
Yep.
Man, if Texas doesn't throw that pick at the end with like 6 minutes to go, I believe it was, Boise State was on the ropes because I watched this entire game, and it was a good one from start to finish.
There you go, Jackson. No, he's
All right.
not mad. He is blue.
Mhm.
I'm a happy man.
And
He
here's a surprise, gentlemen.
He looks like
You are looking.
messing with his messing with the other horsey, and he's about to hit somebody with his head. I was like, I'm not messing with that Bronco. No.
I have taken the liberty to make us, because everyone's freaking out over it. You're looking at the current, most likely temporary logo for the Young Guns.
Ooh.
Because they,
Yay.
until we can get something. So that's the big surprise for tonight.
And some other big news. Other big news. Starting soon, we will be jumping into the college basketball world. For anyone that likes the college basketball scene. Me, Jeffrey, Jackson, Buckeye Mike, Will, we will be jumping into college basketball since college football is sleeping.
Do, 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 do.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
So, just when you think college football's over and that there's going to be no more Young Guns, not to fear. College basketball will be waiting right around the corner for you all, and we'll break it all down.
Oh,
Yep.
We just won't
Well-
talk about Louisville because we stink this year.
Mhm.
We won't talk about half the teams like Ohio State. You get a big lead. You get a 14-point lead on North Carolina, North Kakalaki, and you blow it in overtime.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that, Buckeye
what is
Mike.
going on with
Whoa.
basketball? Man? Like, I got some questions.
What is this basketball world you speak of? Copyright strike. Anyway,
Huh. Hey, what? That was like two of the games I was like,
Yeah.
Well, three of them that were really excited about on Saturday. Oh man, I was so excited about the SMU BYU game and the boys. Oh, we don't know anything about World Cup. I don't know anything about. I'm from Bama.
Can I do a little World Cup? Would we like to do a little World Cup analysis? 'Cause
sure.
that was
why
like one of
not?
the
want
most
that.
awesome games ever.
know.
Knock yourself out, Will. I have
Amazing game. Congrats to my man Messi winning the gold ball, winning a World Cup finally. And he scored every goal
Mhm.
to give them the 3 goals, didn't he, Will?
On Di Maria scored the second one, and that was a great goal by Di Maria, Mr. Hart.
Ah, that's right.
But Messi was awesome. Mbappe for France was awesome. It was everything you wanted out of a final. And then it went to penalty kicks at the end. Then Emi Martinez was the hero, making some awesome saves at the end to bring Argentina their first World Cup since 1986. What a game.
Congratulations. I told everyone, not in here, but I told everyone that I know, do not be dumb and bet for U.S. because they never good in the men's tournament.
Hey, we're going to be good. We're on the rise. We're on the rise.
Are we, though?
Yes. We will at least make the quarterfinals in 2026.
Oh, and a shout out. We want to give a shout out to the largest comeback in NFL history, and it's not the 1993 wild card game of a 32-point deficit between the Bills and the Oilers, but it was something that broke it yesterday. a 33-point deficit from the Minnesota Vikings when they were down 33-0, but then managed to win 39-36 in overtime. Like, oh man, that was awesome.
Mhm.
What a collapse, man.
Jim
Yes.
Mercer
And if you
blackout the decision to make Frank Wright the fall guy. I mean, good
What were you saying,
Lord.
Austin?
and just for everybody's information, there was no game in Jacksonville today. The Cowboys did not play this week. For anyone asking, thank you very much.
My man Dak choked. Dak
choked.
choked.
The Cowgirls showed up instead of the Cowboys. Y'all choked it away.
Hey, Will, how'd your Commanders do, by the way?
Okay, at least we didn't lose by a pick six. At least we didn't lose by a pick six. The refs sucked, by the way. Those
Listen here,
refs should be ashamed of themselves. Those refs.
Listen
I
here,
would
no
have
ref
booed
had
them
the
out of
ball in
FedEx
his hand.
Field if I was there. I would have booed them out of the stadium.
Yeah, like the UTSA Troy game, right?
Oh, man. Hey, I love it when I see some Bama teams winning. So there you go.
Those refs
It
suck.
sure did. This man is probably he's finally coming into form. That's what it was. And besides the fact that Dak cannot throw to the right person.
Yeah,
He
but
threw
we did choke.
4 touchdowns. Well, that's just how Dak is nowadays. He chokes majority of the time.
Mhm.
I tell you,
I gotta
what,
show you
man.
guys my tweet that I tweeted at Scooter Magruder.
Well, I'll say this.
Oh,
right
no.
Are you trying to start beef, Will?
No, it's all love between me and Scooter, man.
I'll tell you
I
one
love
thing.
him,
though.
but I just like to troll a bit, you know. I just like to troll a bit.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, I'm just kind of like talking about the Jaguars. Austin, be glad you don't have to play those guys twice a year now, because I mean, Titans, man, I want to see them win the AFC South.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I want to see my Titans win the AFC South, but it's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. They keep relying on Derrick Henry.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, 'cause
If Cooper Rush was the quarterback, they still would have lost. You're
Sure?
not
Are
going to
you
win a
sure?
Super Bowl with Cooper Rush, and you're probably not going to win a Super Bowl with Dak. It's just the way it is. Dak's just a little bit better, and
Hey,
you got to play him
When
because he's
did this
making
become
money.
a hate session on my team?
Here's the thing. That roster is not built to be a Super Bowl roster, to Jeffrey's point, basically. And they're still missing.
Hold on. Pause that.
Zeke
No,
is on the back
no. We're
end
not going to do
of his
this.
time. Zeke is on the back end of his time. Dak is on the back end. He's had too many injuries. Zeke only cares about the money. He doesn't care about production anymore. Don't have
Listen here.
amazing wide receivers. Defense ain't that
Hey,
good.
Buckeye Mike, you
Listen
could
here.
have avoided all this if you had just wrapped up the show, man.
Hey, but I'm glad that you all are bringing this all up because we're going to get to do this more. Because also we're jumping into the NFL world. So if we have any NFL fans out there, we'll be jumping into that world.
I didn't want to do that, but
You don't have to. The rest of us can.
I know.
And we can upload it to our channels and not Young Guns.
Alright. Where's that tweet? Where's my tweet?
They probably deleted it.
I mean, I don't really think it's gonna matter if we do like the NFL for brief. I mean, it's not like we've done the whole season. We're just doing like the end, like the playoffs and stuff. So.
See, Austin?
Listen here, Dak does not suck. Dak is going to win us a Super Bowl because he has a defense. Michael
Here we go.
Parsons?
Here we go. I found it. All right, can I share my? Can I present it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Scooter tweeted, "If you're a Dak hater, sit down." And I said this: "Stand up." Yeah.
Oh, Zeke's the back. Oh man,
Yeah, Zeke is the
Let's say-
backup. That's what I'm
let's say
saying. He's not
all
that
that
good.
Don't be a backup, you know. That's
He's
my
not that good.
And that's coming from an Ohio State fan.
Well, at least they got CD Lamb, so there's that.
Jets is not a sport. Yeah, they barely have any good receivers anymore. They just have
CD
Lamb. Yeah, I said you have CD Lamb. That's
and
it.
Michael
You got
Gallup.
Yeah.
who?
Noah
Really?
Brown's been playing
Michael Gallup,
pretty well
Noah
lately.
Brown, Dalton Schultz, CD Lamb.
Peyton
Those guys
Henry
won't
died.
win you the Super Bowl. You need like a Kyler Murray or like a Patrick Mahomes to win with those type of receivers.
Well, Kyler
Yeah.
Murray's not good.
Murray.
No. That is the guy.
All right.
With the
I
defense
mean,
that we have,
is
Will,
Dak that
one of
much
the
better
three
than
best
Taylor
defenses in
Heineke? I don't
football.
think so.
Taylor Heineke. Oh, man.
Listen here, Will. Listen
Has
here.
Taylor
You've been
Heineke
hit in
ever
the head
thrown 4
1 times.
touchdown passes in a game, though? I mean, to be fair.
Oh, shots fired across the bow. Shots fired.
Dak chokes worse than Romo. Oh, man.
Raggy.
Alright. Chess boxing was fun, but my girl Andrea, who I do simp a bit for, got robbed in chess boxing. Those refs were bad.
No, recruiting rankings are inclusive of the transfer portal rankings. Is there a composite score? Says score. Michigan is number 18 in recruiting, but they have the number 1 spot in the transfer portal. We have no idea, but because it is part of our job, we will look into it. Because some of us around here actually take our job seriously. Just kidding.
In South Bend, we can't really use the transfer portal, but we're number 3 overall in overall recruiting.
What's up,
I
Mark?
haven't checked in a few days, but I'm assuming we're still 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Zeke had his time where he was close to the top of the league as a rusher. He's older now and has taken many hits. It happens to all players eventually.
There we go.
I'm on the couch and I'm comfortable.
Oh, that debacle of a any mention the debacle of the Patriots and
Insanity.
oh, everybody's
Yeah.
well tomorrow. Everybody's gonna pretend that
I'm-
Josh McDaniels is, so perfect, but then everybody's gonna be like, "Why do we pretend that Josh McDaniels is this great coach again?"
Let me
And I'm
ask
cool.
you:
What?
was that just a great play by Chandler Jones, or was that, or should he have just? What was that like?
That
Because
was
Chandler
pure
Jones
luck.
did catch it.
That was pure luck because what happened was Mac, being Mac, the crappy Alabama quarterback that he's always been, choked and panicked and tossed up a bad pass. And
No, it's
Raider
Jacoby
down
Myers. Wrong one.
what?
It was Jacoby Myers. Because he handed it off to Rashad Stevens. He took it, laddered it to Myers, and then Myers tried to throw it back to Mac. And Chandler Jones one-handed it and then ran over Mac Jones like he
Yeah,
owed him
how
money.
did Mac Jones have anything to do with the play? The only argument you can make is that he didn't tackle the guy and prevent him from going to the end zone. That's the only thing you can make an argument for. He didn't throw anything wrong, man. That had nothing to do with it.
Well, one thing's for sure. But unfortunately, out of Saturday from the Vikings Colts, even though we know, and you guys that are watching this know of Matt Ryan as a pretty good quarterback, he's only going to be known for 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Lonely Super Bowl
Everybody agrees.
51.
Yeah, well, on Edwards' point, you should have never done that. The first guy should have never pitched it back to Meyer, who ended up throwing it again. All that first guy had to do was just go down, take it to OT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, okay, you're tied. Chill. Go play for
Yeah,
OT.
I'm talking about in overtime though to seal the win.
They didn't go to overtime, Buckeye Mike.
Not understanding
Raiders
what you're
ended
talking
it
about. Mac
in
Jones did
regulation
not
'cause
throw
Chandler
a bad
Jones was
pass
like-
that cost the game. It was a bunch of stupid laterals in regulation. That's all it was.
I'll say this,
idiotic.
New England. If you're going to rebound, do it now because you got the Bengals coming to your backyard on Christmas Eve. And
Well, we
then-
know that's not going to happen because the Bengals just took Tom Brady behind the woodshed and smacked him upside the head a couple of times. So
I don't think that was a Belichick thing. I think the player just made a decision on his own, like,
Yes.
hey, I want to end this game now, so let me throw it back to Mac Jones, and maybe he can run it and throw it down the field to someone.
I agree
Because
with you also.
Belichick,
This
I'm
is
sure, had a
happening.
conversation.
Man, Mac really played well in the national championship game. Who was it against again? Who was it against? Who did Mac play well against? in the national championship?
Here's the thing: he had receivers. If you
That's
have
why they didn't give him
receivers,
the Heisman.
a defense, yeah, exactly, and you have a good enough defense like they did.
He's a solid quarterback, but he's not the
Here's
reason
the thing,
that they
Will.
lost the
Here's
game.
the thing, Will. Who did they do that? Who did he do that to in the semifinals?
Well,
If you want to
okay.
put on here,
I wasn't the one throwing
Fire.
shade. I was defending Mac. Like Mac played so well against Notre Dame, but you were shutting him down. You see?
well, yeah,
there's a
I'm saying,
difference
I
there.
know. The thing is, he's an Alabama quarterback. Sorry, Jackson. I do not like Alabama. Most people don't, so I hope Jackson's not
You
offended.
just have to have a legitimate argument for why someone's bad instead of saying someone's bad just because you don't like the team.
No,
gotta have a
I do
legitimate
have a
reason.
legitimate argument. I do have
Mac
a
Jones did
legitimate
not
argument.
lose the game for him today.
Well, Mac Jones is just not good. Look at the
He's
stats.
not a great quarterback. He's a solid quarterback.
I mean, at
He's
one
solid.
point, weren't they talking about Bailey
He
Zapp
is
taking
just
over it?
average. He's okay.
Yeah, weren't they talking about Bailey Zapp taking over at one point? I was like,
Bailey Zappi.
No loyalty, man.
I'm just like, I got some questions about the match.
They had that conversation with us, Jackson.
What do you mean that
Like, Dak's a
Cincinnati?
way better quarterback than the Corporal Rush.
Hold on. Troy, did you watch the game? Tampa went up 17-0, and then Cincinnati fought all the way back, took the
34
lead,
unanswered.
34 unanswered points,
Cincinnati
and then
did not hold on. They clotheslined them in the second half.
yeah.
That was a clothesline, man.
Well, at least Pickle didn't leave for his rival. I mean, he didn't leave for the
He
team
just left for a
rival.
better job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Will
Man,
knows what that's like.
Okay, well, LSU clearly isn't a better job than Notre Dame.
Make
How?
more money though, man.
That's
Look,
how.
I don't
that's
know
what
about
makes it
that, Will.
job.
There's
That's
an
what makes
argument
it
for
better.
LSU.
More money.
Listen, Notre Dame will win a national championship before LSU in college football. I will bet my right nut on it, okay? There's no chance that LSU will win a
Okay,
national championship.
everybody pick LSU to win the Natty next year.
Oh man, I still don't think I could do it.
I'm not going
I'm telling you, it ain't gonna happen.
no. No.
We're gonna see BK go purple again against Purdue. Let's go, Boiler. Boiler up, baby. Boiler up. Let's go.
Well, come on now, don't ruin the picks, man.
Well, no, I mean
Purdue's technically a rival, man.
Purdue's our little brother, man. They're cute. We love Purdue. They're our little brother. I mean, not in like the 60s and early 70s. They were good then. That's when it became a rivalry because they were good in the 60s and 70s. But since then, unless we were terrible, we own Purdue.
Well, he got up and left because it's better money. He honestly just wanted to go, Mark.
Oh man, Edward.
Well, if you want to leave the right way. Don't leave like Scott Satterfield. Leave like a man. He was too much of a coward to tell his team.
Oh man.
I quit watching with 5 minutes left. Cincinnati took forever to get going, and once they got momentum, They held on to it. Didn't realize how lopsided the final score was, but close one. Okay. I mean, then you turned it around halftime. Because that whole, like Jeffrey said, that whole second half, they just, come here! Gave up a late.
Will say, he wasn't going. I will say, the Detroit Lions are back on track. They're 7-7 and still in the playoff hunt.
And they
Dan Campbell and
started
Jared Goff.
Can we touch on Detroit and New York Jets? I mean, what the crap?
That was a game. I'll say that. That was a game. That was the game I watched
Listen
mostly
here.
in the 1 o'clock window.
Jared Goff
That-
is the Rams franchise quarterback.
Here's the thing, too. Jared Goff is not a good quarterback either. I call him a bust the minute he got drafted, just like Carson Wentz. And who was right about
Can I-
Carson Wentz?
Can I have a little
Jared
TV
Goff
timeout?
better than Carson Wentz?
Yes,
I
but
think they're about the.
okay.
it's
Well,
like
when Carson
Hold on,
Wentz
hold
is
on. I want a
good,
little
he's
TV timeout. Jared Goff got the Rams to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
get the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
and good receivers. Again, you can go to a
Did you see
championship
that terrible
on
call?
good receivers
That
and good
terrible
defense.
PI call at the end. That should have been a.
I think that's why Buckeye Mike's not a big believer in CJ Stroud because of all the receivers that Ohio State always has.
Oh, Buckeye,
Exactly.
What do you think about
Logic, it's the
what do
same
you think
thing.
about the rumors that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to transfer from Ohio State?
I'm scared.
Well,
Why that quarterback
But Buckeye
decommit,
Mike-
man? In 2020.
Let me ask you, if you're going to
transferring the Colorado.
say Jared Goff had all these receivers and defense, can't you say the same thing for Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees?
I do.
That
Well, I
logic
feel like
is
Brady
out,
didn't have
man.
that many good receivers when they first got good.
Yeah,
That
Brady's
logic
the
is tough.
exception because what receivers has he had? Wes Welker's decent. His only outstanding receivers his whole career have been Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was only for 3 years.
Yeah. But I'm saying that he's had with him Randy Moss, Godwin.
Julian
Most of his great receivers have been within the last 3 years since he's been at Tampa.
Julian Edelman.
Antonio Clown.
Mr.
Uh,
Fish. Yes.
Well, Edelman's not great. I mean, he's okay. It's just Brady just gives him good passes.
Well, he struggles with reception in that commercial, so.
Gronk, of course, his old buddy.
Yeah, Gronk.
Oh, Gronk's just Mr. Reliable. Give me the ball. If you listen to his commercials, give me the ball and I smash him in the mouth.
I love those little USAA commercials he's on. Those are
My
awesome.
point, Edward. That's my point.
Oh, this is a good one, Mark.
He was posing for the Sarah McLachlan poster. Oh, God. Yeah. Bye-bye. Get out of here.
But yeah, unfortunately, two things Matt Ryan's going to be known for are that 33-point deficit that was blown yesterday and that 25-point lead blown in Super Bowl 51. I mean, it's not Matt Ryan's fault, but unfortunately, he's going to be the fall guy for yesterday. I mean, let's be honest, that defense should not have allowed that 33-point lead to be blown. It was also the fault of the O-line.
What
And-
I mean, Troy, is when I said that they dominated the second half, it's kind of like the Colts-Vikings game where the Colts were dominating in the first half 33-0, and then the Vikings came back and dominated the rest of the game. It's the same here with the Bucs. They were winning, and then the Bengals came back and dominated the whole entire rest of the game. They had to come back to win, but once they took the lead, they weren't giving it up.
Yeah. It was 34-17 before Tampa scored again. They went in and that's all done within the second half because it was 17-3 at halftime. So all of Cincinnati's 31 of 34 points were scored in the second half. Cincinnati only gave up 6 more points. That's domination.
Here's my question: who the heck is going to win the South, the NFC South this year? Because Tampa don't look like they want to win.
You know what they should do? Just not even have a winner and just have another wild card team. Screw whoever comes out of that division.
I think Tampa will win it by default.
Yeah.
Yup.
Look at their schedule. The Christmas Day game is a Cardinals team without Kyler Murray. Then they got the Panthers, and then they got the Falcons. That's who they got left on their slate.
But to your point, Jackson, I think Matt Ryan will be more known for the Super Bowl blow because it's the Super Bowl.
True.
Who cares? Who cares about blowing the biggest lead in the regular season?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest.
They still got to give discredit to the defense for the Colts, though. They completely blew that game.
Yeah.
If they had just played better defense, they wouldn't even have needed another point from Matt Ryan. The defense was awful. Too much soft coverage.
Yeah.
Well, of course they never gave it up, Troy. They forced Tom Brady to have like 3 turnovers in a row on his own end of the field. And then Tampa has a drive where they finally get into Cincy territory, but oh wait, no they don't because of a freaking holding penalty by the offensive lineman. I'd like you to know I give Ryan Day mad respect for yanking that 88 out of the game after that stupid headbutt on the side. Oh, yeah, of course. I would have done the same thing.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
I don't know if I would have gone to the extreme of like you're completely off the team, but definitely would have.
Whoa.
Oh!
Whoa, that's not a PG comment, Edward.
Oh,
My God.
Trying to get us kicked off.
That's almost as bad as my jerking golf comment I was going to say about Jared Goff.
oh my God.
Dirty minds tonight, apparently.
Did you see it, Jeffrey?
So,
Yeah, Brady had 4 turnovers, 2 picks, and 2 fumbles. Yeah.
Yeah, but then people will say it's not Brady. It's like, some games it's not Brady, but in this game, a lot of it was Brady.
Yeah. All of it was Brady.
Mm.
That makes Tom Brady 89-1 now at home after having a 17-point lead or bigger.
and it's his first 8-loss season as a quarterback.
Congratulations, Tom.
Congrats, Tom. You're finally suffering what most quarterbacks suffer, including Dak Prescott.
Listen here, that argument is over. It's done. It's put to bed. On to bigger and better things.
It's never put to bed. He did play a great first half. He needs to retire.
All right, guys, are we ready to close out the show?
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Before you go, Tuesday's show, everybody out there, we will be doing the top 10 most surprising and most disappointing teams. So come back and join us for that. That ought to be really interesting. I wonder where Notre Dame will land on that list. Were they surprising or were they disappointing?
They were disappointing.
Is Alabama going to make the list? Is USC, Texas A&M? All these questions come back Tuesday to find out where we have everyone ranked.
Yes, most definitely. And to everyone out there, Merry Christmas and to all a good night.
Oh, yeah.